Hello. During mid to late May 2020, we're going to have some interesting movement of the planets in the western sky after sunset. If you go out in the evening about 45 minutes after sunset, you'll find very bright Venus. Now, Venus is not going to be very high in the sky, so you need a pretty good horizon to be able to see it. And so find it in the west-northwest, find a good horizon with no trees or houses or buildings where you can find this very brilliant planet. On the 19th of May, the planet Venus will be, or planet Mercury rather, will be to the lower right of Venus, and the star Elnath will be there too. Elnath is the horn of Taurus the bull, along with a brighter star called Capella, will be up to the upper right of Venus. So take a look out there. Elnath and Venus are about two degrees apart, almost 3 degrees apart. And to the lower right of Venus will be Mercury. Now Mercury is going to be brighter than Elnath. Look like a bright star out there. These planets look like bright stars and not the planets that we think about, the worlds. On the next evening, Mercury is closer to Venus. We're looking again about 45 minutes after sunset on May 20th. Mercury is to the lower right of Venus. They're getting closer and closer together. Venus is spectacular in brightness. Can't miss it. Looks like lights on an airplane, except of course it won't fly through. Venus is about 3 degrees below Elnath, the star. And Mercury is just about the same distance to the lower right of Venus. And Capella is still there in the sky to the upper right. It's a brighter star, although Mercury is brighter than Capella. Venus is obviously brighter than Capella, and Elnath is dimmer. If you take a look at Venus through a telescope, you will see that it is a very, very thin crescent. Looks like a little thin crescent moon because it is approaching the sun, where it's going to go between the Earth and the sun in early June. On May 21st, again, go out about 45 minutes after sunset. Look in the west-northwest. Brilliant Venus will be quite low in the sky, so you want to get away from the houses and the trees. And Mercury is brightening as well, but not as bright as Venus, and it will be just to the lower left of Venus. Elnath is still there, and as well as Capella. This gap is a little bit over 3 degrees from the northern horn of Taurus, Elnath. And Mercury is about 1 degree. That's about 2 full moon diameters. So when you look at the moon in the sky, it has its own diameter. So that's about the distance between Venus and Mercury on this evening. On the next evening, May 22nd, again about 45 minutes after sunset in the west-northwest, Mercury now has moved past Venus and appears to the upper left of Venus. It is a bright-looking star, getting brighter a little bit each evening. It will never be as bright as Venus in our view. Capella is still there, and the star Elnath, although not as bright as the other 3 objects in this scene. Venus is almost 4 degrees below Elnath, and it's 1.6 degrees from Mercury, so there's about 3 full moon diameters, as we perceive the moon with our eye, between Venus and Mercury this evening. On May 23rd, again 45 minutes after sunset, looking west-northwest, find a good clear horizon, and now the moon is entering the scene. It's to the lower left of Venus, and Venus and Mercury and Elnath make a nice little triangle here this evening in the sky, with Venus about 4 degrees to the upper right of the moon, and Mercury is about 4 degrees to the upper left of Mercury. So we have this nice little pattern in the sky to see along with the crescent moon. But look what happens on the next evening. On the next evening, May 24th, again about 45 minutes after sunset, Venus is distinctly lower in the sky, very, very bright. Mercury is still brightening as well. It's now really pretty far to the upper left of Venus, along with this crescent moon that is a little thicker crescent than last night. It's about 5% illuminated this evening. Mercury is to the upper left of Venus. The moon is to the upper left of Mercury. We have another nice little triangle here formed by Mercury, Elnath, and Venus. Elnath is to the upper right of Mercury. Capella, the bright star, is still in our scene. This will be a very nice evening, in particular if you want to photograph this with a short time exposure, 2 or 3 or 4 seconds. You will see that the night portion of the moon is gently illuminated. Sunlight shines on Earth, reflects back to the night side of the moon, and just gently illuminates that world. It will be a nice scene, and a nice photographic scene as well, to capture the moon along with Mercury and Venus and the star Elnath and the brighter star Capella. On May 25th, 45 minutes after sunset, Venus is quite low in the west-northwest. Again, you need a clear horizon to see this, as Venus in not very long, in a few weeks, will be passing between the Earth and the Sun, so it's sort of falling out of the sky each night. Bright Capella is still there. The moon now has moved farther to the upper left of the two planets. And Mercury is also moving to the upper left farther of Venus. It's about 5 degrees from Venus is about 5 degrees from Mercury, and Elnath is still here in the sky. We can still see it, and Mercury's kind of to the upper left of it. But Venus is becoming a challenge to see because it is lower in the sky at this particular time. The next evening, on the 26th of May, Mercury is even farther to the upper left of Venus. Elnath is still present, and so is Capella. Good horizon, brilliant Venus is out there, quite low in the sky. Mercury is much higher in the sky. It is still bright, still brighter than Capella, much brighter than Elnath, but not as bright as Venus.